Good evening. This is Shri here, and I'm here to do a quick recap of the week two of the NFL season. I do think that I did much better than my predictions for week one, but some of them were indeed surprises for week two victories, and some of them turned out to be like I expected. And there were a lot of amazing games. Watching the Red Zone on Sunday, a lot of the games, especially between the Seahawks and the Lions, the Titans and the Chargers, the Falcons versus the Packers, all came down to the last few minutes of the game. In fact, the overtime game was there for the Seahawks and Lions, and then even the Jaguars and Chiefs game was very close. The Jaguars had multiple chances to win, but let's quickly go through some of the games and a quick recap of those games as well. So we know that the Thursday night Eagles pulled off a victory over the Vikings. The Ravens were very, very dominant against the Bengals. The Bengals, who were once seen as a Super Bowl favorite, AFC championship, people were already putting them on for the AFC championship. They're now 0-2. They lose at home. Joe Burrow did not look as sharp as he normally does. Lamar Jackson looks solid. And the Ravens completely, I mean, the Bengals did have a chance at the end, but the Ravens just put the game away with a 3-point victory. And then the other game I was talking about was the Lions and Seahawks. The Lions definitely had the upper hand. They had every opportunity to go 2-0 in the division, getting a clear lead in the division. But the Seahawks and Geno Smith came back and really played solid defense to limit the Lions to for a game-tying field goal in the regular time. And then when they got the ball in the overtime, they just marched down the field. No issues for Geno Smith. Hit every receiver he could, Lockett a couple times, and then the Seahawks came out with a big road victory after losing to the Rams in week one. As predicted, the Colts and Texans, the Colts did go on the road against the Texans. Again, it started off as two rookie quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud. And I think Anthony Richardson had to leave the game, but the Colts were able to hold on to an 11-point victory on the road, a very important victory considering how the division is now placed. Then the Bears going on the road to the Buccaneers. As I predicted, the Buccaneers have been the real surprise of the NFL. They easily prevailed over the Bears, 27-17. It got a little close in the second half, but it was never in doubt. Baker Mayfield once again proved to be a surprise. Mike Evans, unbelievable. I mean, went over 150 yards, and the Buccaneers are 2-0 in the post-Tom Brady era. And as I mentioned, the Chiefs, had low scoring. I mean, they had Kelsey, they had Chris Jones back, but they made enough plays to beat the Jaguars on the road. The Jaguars did have multiple opportunities. They were at the 5-yard line. They could not put the ball in the end zone. They came up with 3 field goals. While the Chiefs, I mean, Mahomes, what can you say? I mean, he was able to hit Travis Kelsey for a big touchdown, but the Chiefs were good enough on the road. I knew they were never going to be 0-2. Mahomes got a huge contract as well, restructured his contract, and the Chiefs get their first win of the season. Then the other game, Packers and Falcons, wow. I mean, the Falcons were playing from the back. I mean, they were down 12 points, 24-12, and Packers looked like they could go 2-0 in a division where they could easily, Detroit was also playing at the same time. But Packers had the game in their hand against the Falcons. But the Falcons, give them credit, Desmond Ridder came back and they won with a big field goal at the end to win 25-24. The next one didn't really surprise me. The Bills, I mean, they ran roughshod all over the Raiders, 38-10. Home game for the Bills. Josh Allen corrected a lot of the mistakes he had against the Jets in week 1, and they went on with a romping victory over the Raiders. The Chargers and Titans, that was a back and forth game again. The Chargers, again, had a lot of chances to win the game, but the Titans, I mean, give them credit. They played some solid defense in the end and limited the Chargers. Chargers tied the game, but the Titans were able to, go down there in OT and then win the game. I think the Chargers did have enough opportunities even in the overtime, but it was the Titans that came up with a big victory, with a 3-point victory and their first win of the season. The Rams and 49ers, and it did seem like a home game for the 49ers. I mean, the stadium did look like a lot of 49er fans when I was watching the highlights, and the 49ers had no problem dispatching the Rams 30-23. 49ers clearly the team to beat. I actually had picked them to win the division, so they definitely are the team. I think the Rams and the 49ers and Seahawks will be a good game to watch later in the season. The Giants, what can you say? I mean, what a great comeback by the Giants. I mean, they were down big. They were down 20-0 in the game, and I thought the Cardinals would easily win over that. And but give Giants credit. I mean, Daniel Jones came back, rushing, throwing touchdowns. Giants played some good, solid defense. Although I think Saquon Barkley had a minor injury. Give them credit. Giants beat the Cardinals on the road. Big win for the Giants. The Jets and Cowboys, I knew with Aaron Rodgers not playing for the Jets, it'll be very tough. Anybody who plays against the Cowboys, Micah Parsons was unbelievable. Dak Prescott was enough to beat the Jets 30-10. It was close in the first half, but that's about it. And the Cowboys easily won. Commanders and Broncos, I mean, what a surprise this has been. I think more than the Bucs, I think the biggest surprise for me has been the Commanders. They went on the road at Mile High City. I predicted them to lose. It was a great game. Russell Wilson actually had a game-tying touchdown and Hail Mary pass to tie the game, but then they had to go for 2-point, and they could not get the 2-point conversion. And Commanders, Sam Howell and the Commanders, the Broncos were actually up 21-3, I believe, but then the Commanders came back and won. Then the game that matters to me, Patriots. I mean, this has been a very tough, challenging season for me as a Patriots fan. The Dolphins, again, went on the road. Tua has got a great success against Bill Belichick, and they never looked like they were going to lose the game. The Patriots had the chances to even tie the game despite how poorly they had played. A lot of turnovers for the Patriots, and they just could not get their running game going, and their defense was giving up a lot of points, a lot of yards, even giving up rushing touchdown to Raheem Morset. And then Tua was perfect. I mean, he had one turnover, but he was really good. The Saints and the Panthers, there were 2 Monday night games. Saints going on the road against the Panthers. I did pick the Saints to win. And then the Steelers winning against the Browns. That was a division game. And there you go. That pretty much ends the week 2. Right now, the Dolphins are up 2-0 on top of the AFC East. The Raiders are actually 1-1. They're actually in the AFC West. They're leading. The Chiefs are right behind them. The AFC North, the Ravens are undefeated. Jaguars, every team except the Texans are 1-1 in the division. And then in the NFC, you have the Cowboys and Eagles at 2-0, and Commanders too. So there are 3 teams at 2-0. So that seems to be one of the best divisions, although I did not think early in the season. The 49ers are 2-0, and the Packers and Lions are 1-1. And the Falcons and Saints are 2-0 too. What a surprise they have been. And Buccaneers too. So that division is actually pretty interesting too. So there you go. That pretty much wraps up the week 2. And I look forward to week 3 recap. Thank you so much for listening.